Trending down, episode 8, myself, Ethersole, and Bender on the mic. We're just going to hop right into it. Another crazy week in the markets and currently pumping.
I feel like so much has happened in 24 hours, let alone a week.
Right. Like, we definitely have to start cranking these out at a higher frequency just to keep up with all the news. And then, God forbid, we want to bring on a guest and just chat and hear about their backstory.
Yeah, man. I feel like we could probably do them, every 15 minutes. That much stuff is happening right now.
Should we just live stream it all and be on Spaces 24/7?
I think that's the move.
Okay, before we get even into anything, what is the phenomenon with people having spaces that run all night?
Oh, bro. Okay, this is good.
This is a loaded question, by the way, for everyone. I knew this is
an incredibly loaded question. Certain people are paid by Twitter to be like a host.
This is juice right here. I had no idea this was a thing.
Yeah, dude, it's nuts. I think it's called Twitter Spark, or it has some catchy buzzwordy name, but they essentially get paid something like a Twitch royalty, where if you have a subscriber, you get a certain amount of money a month, and their job is just to host spaces. So what they'll do is they'll bring on co-hosts, and that co-host has the ability to pull people on stage and talk to them, and they'll run this spaces all through the night, and they'll go to sleep and let it run. And you essentially just use your platform to reach more people. I think it's to push the spaces feature. I don't really know what Twitter benefits.
What is a subscriber? Is it just a follower, or is there another level?
That was the comparison to Twitch, where on Twitch.tv you've got subscribers that are $5 a month, but you get $3 of that. There's some revenue stream that you get from hosting these spaces.
Is it fairly underground? Because I feel like I've only heard of a couple instances, but is it something a lot of people are applying for, or do they choose you?
You apply for it because I saw it one time just poking through the Twitter UI, but I don't think it's well known. I didn't hear about it until maybe 2 months ago, and I finally went and looked for it in my little settings, and I was like, oh shit, here it is.
Damn. I literally had no idea. So people are getting paid to run spaces all throughout the night, and they're not even being on them.
Right. Yeah, they sit there quietly and just... It's brilliant. It's genius. If you can pull it off, but you kind of have to balance that. How many people know I'm kind of a shitbag for this?
Think about Twitch. The whole reason is because you're the content creator and you're going to be there and talk. So on this, it's if I feel like Twitter would want to be yo, you need to be there at the very least.
I don't think Twitter knows.
Okay, got it. So
I think
it's early days.
Yeah, I think it's a byproduct of this is what I'm being given to do this, and if they knew I wasn't present while doing it, they probably would revoke the ability.
Well, honestly, everyone, you're welcome, because that is pure alpha right there. Get in on these paid Twitter spaces and literally just earn money while you sleep.
It's called the Twitter Spaces Spark program. I just found it again.
Interesting.
$2,500 per month is the reward. You get monthly ad credits to promote your spaces. You get custom swag. There's a whole Twitter article they wrote on it in 2022.
Wow. There you go. I feel like they're trying to more and more monetize people's little content followings. With the super followers and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I think so. The applications are closed now, so they probably had a small window to say, hey, if you want to get in, try it out, here's what you can do.
Oh, got it. Okay. Because I was going to say, if this was an open thing and people were just applying, I would think that it would be running nonstop in crypto land.
Oh, yeah.
People love their easy money.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if there's some people out there that have it that I don't know about.
Got it. That are low key doing it.
Yeah, like Deez does the Lindy walk every day, I think.
Oh, yeah. He's probably.
It wouldn't shock me if he applied for it.
Yeah. And it's easy to mask that. I'm going on a walk every day. Of course, I'm just going to run a space.
Yeah. And I don't blame him either. It's a great idea.
No, phenomenal idea. Plus, I think it kind of promotes people to walk with him. So I'm all for that.
Wait, is that what the Lindy walk is? It's always before I'm online.
Yeah. I think I don't know where he's at, but clearly different hours. But yeah, I think he just runs it when he goes on an actual walk.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, got on a fucking tangent there, but so markets are pumping. I think this morning it was the CPI print, which truly sent everything extremely upwards. Were you awake for that?
Oh God, no, that was like real early, no matter what coast you were on.
Yeah, I was not either.
I went to bed and we were at like 1650.
Yeah, I mean, everything just sent when I woke up. It was shortly after the print. But like lately, I feel like those numbers come in, we have a quick like scam pump, and then it just fully retraces and we're back to like crabbing.
Right.
This one felt like a little more sticky.
Yeah, I don't know why though. Is it leading into the testnet merge that was today that people wanted to hold on for another kind of exit pump?
Okay, so real quick, I think a lot of people are putting a ton of weight on the CPI, and like when you look at it on a month over month, it's coming down. But I'm with you. Like I think there's more fundamentals here going on, and what we've been saying, everything's just way too low. So it's like mean reverting. Plus you have this Ethereum, merge, testnet whole situation, and like all this chatter and excitement and prices going up, brings people back in a little bit.
Yeah, and especially if you hear, Ethereum merge, like a major milestone's happening, I can imagine a lot of retail would come back.
Exactly. I mean, there's even if you don't believe in this type of technology and you're just solely a trader, you're coming back because it's a tradable event. Like whether you're going short or long, that's still just more volume in the market. But the Gorley merge just happened, and it looks like it was a success for the most part.
As far as I knew, I just saw a tweet that they got a finalized epoch.
Well, you know what? I don't really know what that means, but we love it.
I think it means we're good.
I liked finalized and I like epochs. So
sounds good.
Let's run it up. But that means we're closer to the actual merge, which, everyone is, if you don't know, it's this huge issuance reduction. So like the amount of Ethereum that's floating daily that gets issued is like dropped in like a third or even less. And then it becomes basically like green. It gets rid of the environmental like causes that everyone's worried about with like all these crypto mining and waste of energy situations.
Yeah, man, speaking about that, I actually talked to somebody 8-10 months ago, and I brought up Ethereum, and the guy was like, I gotta walk away, I can't talk about this, it makes me too mad. And I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, I just can't deal with it. There's too much environmental damage and wastage. And I was like, all right, that's fine. Talk to you later, man.
That narrative is extremely popular because I think we mentioned this maybe earlier, a couple episodes, but later. But where even you'll talk to someone who knows nothing about NFTs or even crypto, and that is their one argument where it's like, oh, they're so bad for the planet.
Right.
It's kind of crazy how fire that catches on.
Yeah, and it holds on strong too.
Right.
Like that was all I heard about for a long time from just people that were kind of on the fringe edge of the space, like not fully in it, just kind of listening.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things that's hard to shake, but with the merge coming, that fully negates that argument. And so it's pretty easy to see a bullish narrative forming, especially when mainstream media loves that type of stuff. It's something they can like totally relate to.
I was actually going to bring that up and ask if you thought there was a potential of a breakaway cycle here. We've always cycled on the Bitcoin halving because it hits the media, it becomes a thing across the internet. This kind of has that same impact of like, you'd imagine it'd be all over the media, all over the news channels, financial analysts will be all over it.
Right. Well, it's a triple halving in supply emissions. And then you have this narrative of, clean Ethereum. So people who were against it for those reasons, who for all intents and purposes, maybe not listen to mainstream media, could be swayed the other way. So that is, you can't really downplay that.
No. And maybe I'm convincing myself at this point, but I'm now kind of fully in the boat. It took one connection for me to be like, we have a new bull narrative. We have a new bull cycle coming. Like, I'm fully in that boat now.
Oh my God. I've been seeing this narrative coming, but it's just been so doom and gloom lately that I'm like even questioning it myself. Like, okay, is anyone even going to care about it? And then, the whole argument of like, well, gas might not go down for using ETH and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, but that doesn't really matter when people are just trading an asset off a narrative. Like, they're not necessarily always going on chain.
Dude, all I'm hearing right now is ETH is hitting 10K by December.
Okay. I'm glad you actually said that. I swear, because think about this. I'm going to go full bull right now.
All right, let's hear it.
Think about this. No one, ETH to 10K was a meme. We nuked,
absolutely,
right? We got to 5K. No one in their right mind, even if they caught the bottom, even if they're giga bullish, me included, no one is ready for a straight shot to 10K ETH right now. They'll sell too early if they're a bull. If they load it up off the bottom, they'll sell too early. If they're a doomer, they're still sitting on the sidelines. So you just have this like recipe where it would catch a lot of people off sides because it's like the least likely thing people see happening. Everyone's thinking, okay, this is a bear market rally, then we dump to the lows, or we run it to 2.5K and then we crab, or 2.5K and then we dump to the lows. But no one, and I mean no one, is saying ETH straight line up only type scenario. And before, I can literally hear people already like sweating, just ready to tweet me. But I mean, just think about it. Like, up only is the max pain scenario. It catches the most people offsides and unprepared. All these funds that have been sitting and waiting, trying to be patient and like unload capital at the bottom and try and catch these good deals. Like, what would they say if they totally missed that entire move?
Yeah. And I think I saw a stat today, 48 billion, I think, sidelined in the capital funds.
I mean,
that they're sitting in cash. So I'm buying into it. I hear it.
Right. It sounds nuts and it's crazy to think about right now. But when you think about the scenario that no one is prepared for, I think that's it.
Absolutely. And the funny part is, like, worst case scenario, let's assume you're wrong. Let's assume you buy into this bull narrative that we're going to break away from the down crab and go into a new bull cycle that no one thought could come so soon. Mm-hmm. And like, you blow your load at like 1,800 ETH. If you just hold on for the Bitcoin halving, you'll be above 1,800 ETH.
Right.
So long term, it's not a bad thing. Short term, one of two ways: very good, or you cut your losses early.
It's still not a bad place to buy here. I mean, we're coming again. Everything we've talked about, we're coming up on these new narratives. Macro this, macro that, whatever. You can talk about that for days. But long-term crypto outlook, we are insanely early and things are actually like coming together to the point where like it's a usable tool.
Yeah, probably for one of the first times.
Right.
Actually, I think in the last 3 years, there's been more innovation than like in the last, from a user standpoint, than in the last like 8.
Right. I mean, okay, so think about this too. There's another angle where even if like a lot of people right now are basically loading heavy Ethereum and then hedging their entire position with like quarterly futures. So they're basically like delta neutral on that position, no exposure, but they're going to get a free airdrop. And they're basically being like, oh, that's a free 7% trade, or, however much the airdrop ends up being of. So on the merge, it's going to go Ethereum proof of stake chain. And then there's this subset of people who want Ethereum proof of work chain, who like don't want to throw out their mining machines and are just going to keep that chain running and hope to build a community off of it. So anyone who's holding ETH at the merge will get airdropped a free ETH proof of work token. And who knows what that'll be worth. But like that trade right there is like, oh, okay, so you're delta neutral ETH. So you'll get this free fork coin and you'll dump that. But like, if ETH went straight up, you'd still be trying to chase that.
Yeah, do you think that's why we'll see, or do you actually not? That's a different question. Do you think we'll see a lot of leverage come out right before the forks happen?
I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting because of this airdrop where like, if you're holding ETH and OV, and you have it, you're like borrowing against it. No one knows how that works yet. Like usually you have to self custody your ETH. So like, even if it's on Coinbase, there's no guarantee they honor this like fork. So the best case scenario to get this free airdrop is hold ETH in your own wallet. So like imagine if you had a loan in OV, so you need to cover that loan. Like there could be a lot of catalysts where number go up because people are trying to free up their ETH and like pay back these loans so that the ETH is like sitting in their wallet. So it could take the leverage out in a sense, but that could also equate to like number go up.
Kind of all roads lead to Rome here.
Right. I mean, this whole ETH proof of work chain, we were talking about it a little bit before we got going, but it's going to be interesting to watch because there's a lot more dynamics than when Bitcoin had like its free airdrop Bitcoin Cash. I mean, ETH has all these dApps and all these coins. When you get an airdrop it's the whole chain. So you're going to get like basically all these coins again.
Right.
But I think only the ETH proof of work one might have a little value because there's a community that's just like trying to pump it and like create this narrative. But yeah, I mean, it's essentially as close to free money as you get if you hedge it out like people are doing. Personally, I don't even mess with that, but I'm definitely looking forward to dumping the ETH proof of work chain into proof of stake and just getting free money that way.
That's exactly what we talked about before.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many like, oh, maybe I'll hold it in strategy this, strategy that. No, it's called free ETH. Like later, I'm dumping.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
that's not a game to play.
No.
So someone asked me this question earlier today, and they said, "What happens to all my stables when we do for the merge finally hits?" And they kind of asked what they need to do, between now and the merge to prepare for it. I told them nothing. You just need to hang out, and you get all your things as they were.
Yes, that's correct. So there was ambiguity, and that's why there was like already a value. People were already trading the proof of work like future token on Poloniex because Justin Sun was like, "Yo, I'll support it with some ETH, like for infrastructure." But when there was mystery around these like stablecoin providers like Circle, who has USDC, Tether, when they were like not just disclosing like full allegiance to the proof of stake chain, there was this whole like conspiracy theory that it's all going to break and like Tether chooses the proof of work and then Circle chooses USDC chooses the proof of stake. So then you have these like two competing chains, one Tether's worthless and one's USDC is worthless, but they all came out recently and said we're only supporting the proof of stake. So like that conspiracy theory has been shut down. So again, you don't need to do anything. You just kind of
chill.
Yeah, you just chill.
There is a tweet happening right now. The testnet still can't establish consensus.
Okay.
And there was a rumor in, I think it's August right now, so probably like June or July, that all the miners were saying that the mainnet merge will be delayed till October or November. And I don't remember why they thought that. But I wonder now if this consensus issue is going to push that merge so we have a little bit more running room here. And if we have like another month of run room, that kind of feels like a longer hype cycle.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind it. The last merge, there was a couple issues after the actual like testnet. A couple of the nodes and stuff weren't syncing. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, whipsaw price action off of that, off the devs being like, it worked, number go up. It doesn't work, number go down,
Right.
So, but like, I think the same thing is happening now. I'm scrolling Twitter and it looks like I'm seeing one of the devs is saying we're finalized on Gorley. Like there was a couple confusions on the network, 2 different terminal blocks, yada, 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 like fucking jargon. But anyway, it looks quite good is what they're saying. That was like 5 minutes ago. So
allegedly we're good then.
Allegedly we're good. But it always, like, you can't judge this thing 4 seconds after it forks. Like, it was successful in the sense that it's starting to work, but it's not, they go back and debug it and make sure everything's lined up for the actual merge. Cause there's just so many moving parts. And honestly, like, I will be the first to admit that I'm not, one to speak on this, in depth.
So here's a good thing to bring up too is, the chain ID when the proof of stake merge happens. We have to assume that the chain ID stays the same for Ethereum. That's my assumption, at least. So whatever chain ID you have set in your MetaMask right now is what you'll be set to for proof of stake. So it wouldn't shock me if a lot of people log in and be like, oh, I got my airdrop. I'll just sell this real quick and end up selling their proof of stake ETH on accident because they have the wrong chain ID.
I mean, yeah, we got to do something to make sure that everyone's educated on that, because I don't even, that would be wild.
Yeah, I don't see how it wouldn't happen because they'll effectively be different chains.
Right.
So there has to be two different chain IDs, and each ID will transmit or gossip a transaction.
Yeah, I mean, when they went to sell it, one would be worth what ETH price is, and then the other one would be worth like this $100 or something.
So you assume I would notice it.
I would hope so.
However,
when you're just clicking buttons and you're firing away, like, ETH is ETH, and you just press send. So
absolutely,
I get it. So yeah, I mean, a lot of big things coming up. I mean, speaking of like this space becoming on the radar a bit bigger with useful tools, we had a pretty big event this week, which was foreshadowed, or which was basically like completely covered up by today's action, but Tornado.
Yeah. We all saw it coming though, right? So Tornado, they had their USDC pools frozen by Circle.
Yep.
And all the addresses in there were blocked and they can't trade their USDC.
Yeah.
But at any point, did you expect this?
Oh man, this one's a loaded topic because Tornado Cash is like something you can basically use to like wash your Ethereum. Everything's public on the blockchain. If you want a little privacy, people get mad at that. And so Tornado was a place you could go send ETH, send it to a new wallet, and they couldn't really track it for the most part. But obviously a tool like that can be used for nefarious things. And so, was it the SEC?
I don't know.
Either way, some government agency came out and was like, we're shutting down Tornado Cash. Fully deleted like the GitHub, which is where you store the code, and then fully shut down their website, fully shut down the chain, but then also blacklisted the contracts, which is like, okay, they're starting to learn. And then Circle, who manages USDC, like you said, blacklisted all those coins, which means if those were your coins, you can't just send them. They're like stuck forever and they're useless and they're worthless. So everyone freaked out at like the implications of this.
Yeah, it's a big move, but at the same time, it kind of feels like that old adage of like, if you're not doing anything wrong, you won't be in trouble.
I agree.
But that's where I could toes the line of Tornado of, some people use Tornado to like wash their dirty ETH or attempt to, and some people just don't want their ETH from an old wallet tracked to a new wallet.
Yep.
So there's some false positives in there. Agreed.
We have, we're on like the cutting edge of technology. So we have a lot of anonymous people in this space. And, sometimes they start a project and they don't necessarily want you to be able to like a government agency to dox you because like it's, brushing up against certain laws. But I don't know. This one's tough, dude, because there's a whole camp of like privacy's a right and, they can't just shut this down. And then there's a camp of like, well, why are you even using that? Like most people or a subset of people that use it are doing like funding like bad activities. Like one example was North Korea, basically.
Right.
So,
well, we've seen almost every single bridge hack starts with a tornado transaction.
Okay, I agree. Every single hack involves tornado. So
yeah, it's like the
it's
entry
hard to
point.
argue like, oh, it's only good, like no, like there's a lot of bad happening there. Okay, let's be fucking real here.
Yeah, and if you want to like not wash your ETH, but hide it into a new wallet, you just send it to a centralized exchange, let that mix it, and send it back out. And it's effectively the same thing.
Exactly. And then dude, there's one way that
don't say it. Don't say it. It's too good. It's too good.
I will not say it. But yeah, like if you want to be by the book, just go through a centralized exchange. This one's tough because there's all the cypherpunks, diehards who's like, privacy is a right. I want to be a sovereign individual. All this stuff, and like I feel you should have that right, but there's a lot of bad stuff that was happening with it too. So I can see how that was like their number one target.
I don't see Tornado going down though either. They couldn't take the contract down. And
no, I mean,
it's like the Hydra, it's Pirate Bay essentially. You take it down once, it comes up in 4 more mirrors.
Exactly. I mean, again, this space, everything's open source. Someone could spin up what you created immediately and have the same thing running. So like, is it going away? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people kind of lose sight of like the word decentralization.
Yeah.
Because they get really attached to like something that's not really about centralization or decentralization, and they kind of fail to realize that just the contract being out there is decentralized.
Right.
And this is kind of a good proof of what the ecosystem's built. Like Tornado's not going down anytime soon. Your wallet might go down, but Tornado's going to stay.
Yeah, I think this is more just like a big sort of moment for the whole space of like, okay, what happens next? Like, do the devs get in trouble for this? Or does it just stop at blacklisting, the USDC in the pools? Do they go one deeper of like any wallet that touches Tornado gets blacklisted? Do they go even deeper of any USDC that's ever touched it?
I don't think they can.
So like that was kind of like the narratives that were being spun up on the day it came out. And I agree with you. I don't think they can.
Right. They nuked all the GitHub accounts that had interacted with the repo.
And that is a level that I didn't quite think they would go to.
No, and that might actually burn those people because Microsoft owns GitHub. And I could see Microsoft complying with whatever they were asked to comply with and be like, yeah, we'll give you these users' data. Like, go find them. I think the notion of they built a platform that was used for bad is a fair notion from the SEC.
I'm pretty sure Microsoft is fairly deep in ETH as well.
Are they? I thought Bill Gates hated cryptocurrency. Or does he hate monkey pictures? It's one of the two. It's hard to keep everything straight anymore.
Yeah, right? So these billionaires have the weirdest quirks.
Yeah, man. On the topic of things being stolen, I just came across an OpenSea tweet that I should have seen hours ago, but I came across it now, and they're changing the way their stolen NFT, policy works.
Oh, wow. This has been a long time coming, right?
Yeah, they actually started the tweet thread with, can we address the elephant in the room? So they definitely understood the problem the whole time. Long tweet thread. It's like 13 tweets long. I'm not going to read near half of them.
Okay.
But they essentially are saying that they want to avoid being a transmitter of stolen goods because in the U.S. it's illegal to transmit or exchange stolen goods. So the way they've done it in the past is if it's stolen or reported stolen by the owner or the previous owner, they lock it. But what they're doing now for all reports going forward, if they don't receive a police report within 7 days, then they'll re-enable buying and selling for the reported item.
Whoa.
Right. So it's going to change the landscape entirely. If you get your shit stolen and you don't send a police report, it sounds like they'll lock it preemptively to protect themselves. And then if they don't get the follow-up information, it gets unlocked.
Wow. So... Okay. There's a lot to unpack there. So you have to file a police report if you go into, if someone clicks a link that they get their NFTs stolen, you used to just report it to OpenSea and it would be locked. But the problem with that is a ton of people were doing it. And then it was creating like every freaking NFT or half of them you couldn't sell or they had a discount because they had at one point been flagged by OpenSea.
Right. Or you were the false positive that bought it unknowingly.
Oh, that was the other thing. Yeah, like it got delayed. Someone maybe found out or someone reported it, but then it took OpenSea a couple hours to mark it, right?
Right. So it was marked, stolen, and frozen in a new victim, quote unquote, their wallet, not necessarily the thieves' wallet.
Wow. So now this new situation, you click a link, you get your NFT stolen, you have to present a police report to them within 7 days.
Right.
Okay. So do they still in that time period of 7 days, can someone still buy it and then it gets marked stolen after they present their police report?
I think it can still be purchased and marked stolen between the time of the report going in and OpenSea acting. So you can still get burned by this, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. The tunnel just might be 7 days long.
Okay, interesting. So, I mean, okay. I see on one side, this is better. It's a step in the right direction, I guess I'll say that. But it is wild to think about someone filing a police report for a stolen NFT.
Right. And also, different countries, different police, they might, I don't know how police report filing works outside the US, but it might be harder, it might not be possible for NFTs. So you might actually run into some red tape there.
Interesting.
But they have addressed it finally, and they've said that, hey, we don't like the false positives of, we didn't mean to freeze your NFT that you just bought from this guy for, 15 ETH. But sorry.
Oh, man. It's such a tough issue to know what the best move is. I didn't even know people were, I guess I'm still stuck on people filing a police report for NFT.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
No, I'm too embarrassed. Hey, what do you do? You call 911? Hey, 911.
So I've had my car broken into. You just go online. There's a form online.
Okay, I'm yo, you call me. Yo, my NFT. Yeah, just click the bad link. Yeah, okay. Do we need to no? Send someone to my house right now.
I need you to come write on this piece of paper for me.
Right. Dude, come on.
And they're okay, so someone stole your internet picture.
So
you're yeah.
Yeah, so they. Okay, you're telling me you owned an internet picture. Dude, just describing that is just wild.
You gotta be all right, sit down, give me 3 hours to make it all make sense for you.
Do you need a drink? Okay, you're gonna need a drink for this story.
I simply would not do it. I would send the report, watch them freeze this thing, and then watch it for 7 days and be all right, well, there it goes. Unfrozen.
I mean, okay, so that brings me up to something because I've never told this story, but
oh God.
So there's hackers in this space that try and steal Bored Apes, and duh. But so I was trying to offload a Bored Ape when they were at. This is actually this is gonna be a good one. When they were at 105 ETH, and this was this was a month ago. Basically, I had an extra Bored Ape that's not the forever PFP. I was trying to unload it. And the only place the real action goes down is in the Discord in a private channel that's for sale for apes. And it's where everyone talks about, selling and buying and trading and all this stuff. So it started with actually 4 Kodas, which I traded for an ape. And then I traded a dog and the ape for a higher ape. Long story short, ended up unloading an ape for about 105 ETH in total value. So let's just pause there. Because now they're at 84.
Right.
Took all that ETH, dumped it into DPX at $200. Now it's at almost 600 in a month. So, Franklin's out here flipping for 2 ETH. You boys out here doing real work. So let's pause for a minute.
Moment of silence.
Shots fired. So anyway, back to the main point. Basically, you have to I was talking to people all day long. It's just a chore to try and offload these things, especially the non-floor ones. And so, I'm talking to people nonstop, and then, they hit you up. I don't have open DMs, so you have to friend request all this stuff. And normally I can suss out a scammer just by like looking at their profile and clicking deny. But I was going so fast that someone's basically like low key impersonating like a more famous ape that I've actually like DM'd before about DeFi stuff. And so he like, the way he started it was like, yo, bro, what's up? Like, you know who this is, right? And I'm like, well, yeah, like, what's up, man? Like, we're like, we know each other. And he's like, oh, hell yeah. Like, I'm glad you remembered. I'm like, okay, like, this is definitely him. So we start going back and forth and we start talking about a trade. Dude, you're going to love this. And so he's like, hey, I have a celeb lined up for your ape. I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, how much are you selling it for? I'm like, yeah, 105 ETH or trade value, whatever. He's like, dude, I can get you 150 right now. And I'm like, well, okay. I literally just said 105. Like, do you want a broker's fee or something? Like, or like, what's the deal? He's like, oh, I run a PR firm. This celeb is like, top tier, and they just buy them from us. They don't even know the market prices. And I'm thinking like, well, that makes sense, kind of, because like, what celeb is like tracking what the floor price of a Bored Ape is. And so then he comes back to me. He's like, okay, they agreed on 142. Let's do a private sale on OpenSea. I'm like, thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, private sale on OpenSea. There's really nothing that can go wrong there, Yeah. So he sends me the address that I sell the ape, and I set up the sale for 142 ETH to the address. And I'm like triple checking everything to be like, what am I not thinking about here? So I set up the sale and I'm like, okay, no, it's all good. Like, it's a smart contract. The sale won't happen unless they send 142 ETH. So then the guy goes, oh, you didn't like approve it. Go into Etherscan. So I'm like, okay. You're a scammer. Immediately, I'm like, he's like, you need to go into Etherscan and type in this address in this box. I'm like, alarm bells going off. I'm like, okay, I got you.
Oh,
so
man.
I also DM the guy because I'm like getting more wary of it as this goes on. So I DM the guy on Twitter being like, yo, am I DMing you right now? He took a little bit to reply, but eventually he said no. And so I'm like, let's see where this can go.
Oh, God.
So anyway, I go back and forth with this guy and I end up being like, yo, bro, I sent him a screenshot of the DM with the guy. And he's like, oh, man, good looks, man. Good looks. You passed the test. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so what was your plan? And then he starts telling me how he then sends a fake OpenSea link after that. Like, that's his like setup is like, do the private sale, yada, yada, yada. Okay, let me send you this OpenSea link. And then it's like a way to approve the NFT and transfer it. And then we had like a long conversation after that. And I'm just like, why do you do this? Like, really breaking it down. I don't know if it's true, but he said he had stolen 12 Bored Apes.
Holy shit.
Just by social engineering.
Side note, did you make friends with this guy and just like get all the alpha out of him?
Okay, we went on for months and then he's like, wow, you know a lot. And I'm like, yeah, like, he's like, what coins do you like? I'm like, DPX. He's like, oh shit, I like DPX. I'm like, dude, why are you out here scamming, man? Like, this makes no sense. Like, you're in the industry, he's like, yeah, I'm just bored. I'm like, dude, come on. Like,
what?
Do something better with your time. But yeah, it went on for a while. I blocked him, but
holy shit.
He ended at the very end. He was like, hey man, obviously you see I'm a good social engineer and I could bring a lot. Like, I know you have a DeFi protocol. Like, can I work for you?
Yeah, boss, here's the private keys.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Like, come on. So
what did he think you were going to say? Oh, absolutely. I would love to have you on the team. You're very trustworthy.
I was not like nice to the guy, but like I did want to know more and just find out like, okay, what was his next step? And, why do you do this? Just to know, I guess,
I'm just shocked. He was like, oh, here's my game plan. And it works pretty well.
Oh, went on and on. And I think it was because I was like, hey man, come on. I know you're not real. When I sent the screenshot of the actual guy telling me, no, you're not talking to me on Discord.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah. So I wouldn't even say a close call, but like decently close.
Pretty damn close, actually. I mean, closer than most people probably get. If you didn't know that, like, have your wits about you with the whole, like, why would I ever use Etherscan to do this?
Oh, yeah. Once he said that, I was like, no chance. And then after that, he would have had to send his like scam link, and there's no planet that I would be clicking that.
Right, yeah, no.
Um,
I had a guy try to scam me once, and he did something really similar, impersonated somebody, but he like cloned the wallet on OpenSea. So he looked at like this person's wallet and just minted his own with OpenSea front ends of every single NFT, and then named it the exact same.
Level.
It was smart, but you can't have identical names for everything, so the collection name's actually a little bit different. So he'd like,
but they can make those characters, you know.
Yeah, he'd like replace an I with like a capital I would be like a lowercase L. And I caught onto this scam at some point because I just didn't trust it. And I knew it was scamming me, and I was just like, "No, man, like I'm not going to do this trade." And it was like some bullshit NFTs, like 0.2 ETH worth on each end. So I made him trade me his first. Like I knew he was scamming me at this point, and he sends me his two. There were those skeletons with like the nails in their head that used to be really big and like, oh gosh, early in their NFT run. I don't know the name of them. He sends me two of these, and I want to explain that these are worth like 0.2 total. And I like then did the screenshot and like showed him like the fake URL and everything. Like, dude, like you're doing this, like you're horrible at this, like you're wasting your time. Like, why would you come for me? He then flips a script on me. He's like, you're scamming me.
What?
So we start arguing because he is now like, you're scamming me. Like you're such a shitty person.
Oh my God, what a legend.
I don't know what to do anymore. I was like, damn. I went back and double checked and I was like, wait, these are fake, right?
Oh my God.
Like he had me feeling bad.
Yeah. Dude, it is wild. Like the level of detail they will go to of like, you know, actually finding a profile on Twitter and doing everything the same as the person they're trying to impersonate, including like close to the same amount of followers.
Yeah, it's wild, man. But I mean, when you have that much money on the line, I get it. Shit.
Oh, shoot. I mean, if this guy actually was able to scam 12 Bored Apes, which I mean, come on. I don't know if I believe that because this guy was not like the most trustworthy person, obviously. That is at the height $6 million.
Yeah, not bad for a year's work if he's out here just sending links to people.
Right? I mean,
damn.
Unreal. And it kind of frustrates you. It kind of reminds you of like people that would scam you in like MMOs and video games who took the time to do that.
Oh yeah, dude, I've been there.
Come on, dude, your
boy has been there. And it's
like you're not even having monetary gain on that. But now people out here, they can make $200K off scamming a Bored Ape. Like I can only imagine how many people are actually trying to do this.
Dude, I almost tweeted this today. I fully believe that if people put in the effort into crypto that they put into like their video games, they could change their life. Like, I can't tell you how many people I can go down a friends list and be like, you played 102 hours of Steam in the last 2 weeks. That's more than a full-time job. Just take half those hours and like learn some crypto stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the intersection of gaming and crypto, like once that happens and it's just a full crossover, it's literally game, set, match.
Actually, I thought about that today. All those crypto games, like the NFT games, people got really tired of them because they realized they were just one large Ponzi that tried to prevent the cards from falling. But today I sat there and I was like, damn, you know what I would love to play right now? Like a bullshit like NFT crypto game.
Right?
And I really think like we're at the time where we might see some new crypto games come out or old ones start kind of charging again because people will get bored as we kind of trudge on. Yeah.
I mean, it's perfect time for something like, I mean, okay, so last podcast, let's jump a little into NFTs here. Last podcast, we talked about the free mint meta a lot and just kind of how that's like dying down and there's not much catching steam. Okay, and then you brought up 8 Pepes. But then also like I'm seeing more projects kind of like catch these heavy bids, but let's start with 8 Pepes.
You're laughing, and you know why you're laughing. Because I had a dumb amount of these, and at some point I was like, there's no way these will push past 0.31.
Dude, you said it on the podcast. No, yeah. This is no way this goes to 1 ETH.
No, I think I said, and I wish I remembered it, but my revisionist history says there's no way they hit 0.5.
Right.
And there's absolutely no way they hit 1 ETH. Like that's that's a pico top they could ever hit. That would be nuts.
So
I sold them all.
You minted at 0.03 though, right? Or you bought
0.01.
You bought at 0.01.
Yeah, I was just bored on the couch, and here's what happened. I saw it once on crypto Twitter, and it was from a Bored Ape holder, and I was just like, all right, if you guys are going to push these on Twitter, like I will absolutely ride the wave with you.
Wow.
Like I'm not going to do any work. I'm not going to join the Discord. I'm not going to even tweet about them or consume the news on them.
So that was in our first ever alpha segment, and we talked about them. They were 0.13 at the podcast then, and we were laughing.
Yeah, 0.13 on the podcast. I think they were at 0.13 on the podcast.
Okay.
And we're laughing about it. And
so they went on to hit 1.1.
Yeah, 1.1. I think yesterday they hit 1.1. Yeah. They're at 0.8 right now.
And there is a fat community trying to rally behind these things.
Yeah. You're rubbing it in, you know.
I know. I'm not like that there. It was just wild that like that. You never know. And I mean, there's people sitting on hundreds of these, so it's kind of sketchy because you never know when one person just wants to nuke it. But they had a spaces on Twitter for 3 hours yesterday with like 1.2K people in there the whole time.
It's crazy
amount
shit.
Of people to have for that long, just like engaged talking, and like they were fired up, obviously sounding like Moon Boys, but it was like entertaining a little bit to where I was like, should I buy one of these, dude? I'm having FOMO at like 1.1, and you were like, dude, there's always another project coming around, and then let alone the next day that went to like 0.6.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and you've got the top.
I'm not buying.
Yeah, dude. The top 25 people have more than 50.
Right.
The top 25 holders have more than 50.
Yeah, the distribution is terrible right now. And people want to meme like, oh, that's not a thing. It's because you're one of the big holders saying that that's not a thing.
Right.
Right? Like when people have 200 plus and multiple people have that, they're not all diamond handers. Like if you were looking at 200 ETH in the face and this was your first big hit, you're taking that cash.
Yeah, hard to hold that. My favorite thing about the holders list on Etherscan is that you got 0x Wave, who's like a prominent Bored Ape, and he was one of the loud individuals behind this and like really believed in them. My favorite part though is he used his hot wallet. So it's not 0xwave.eth, it's hot.0xwave.eth, which tells me one of two things. Either like this was a degen mint and purchase for him that just hit a home run, or he's got incredible like wallet separation.
Wow. Yeah.
But I believe the degen hit. I think this guy.
I for sure believe that. Not too many people have that kind of crazy of OPSEC in this game.
No. And he's got 133 in there. He's not moving him out. There's no way.
See, so he's keeping them in the hot wallet, which generally means like they're locked and loaded in the chamber to unload at like whatever his price is.
I'll say this: he was in before I was in. I bet he minted them.
Oh my god! So like, think about that. You're
crazy.
Up fat amount to where there's really no way they drop down to like 0.01 again. More than likely.
Yeah,
they don't. Right.
Do the math here real quick. He's got 200K of rare Pepes.
At this point, you know, you might as well try and hype them up as much as you can and then list them like on the way up and ladder it.
That's kind of the way to do it. Like you can't unload that position at the floor. You have to really scale them in and scale them out.
Yeah. You like say the floor's at 0.6 right now. You have like 10 in the 0.6 range, 10 in the 0.7 range, 10 in the like, and so on and so forth, all the way up. If you really want to get rid of all of them.
Yeah. The way I look at it is I sold mine on the way up to, I was out completely by 0.31. So
look, that's a great trade. You made 30x on, you know, and go back to the podcast where we're talking about it, like these free mints and stuff, but that is a huge win. And that's exactly what we were saying. But on that note, I'm seeing more and more NFTs kind of pop up, like new projects too.
Yeah, there's this eight aliens, or
I don't know what that is.
It's aliens with an 8 instead of an A, and I don't know how to say it.
Aliens.
Aliens? Oh, yeah.
I mean, I have no idea.
Dude, old project. It's like 6, 7 months old.
Oh wow, are we going back on like the?
No, they never launched. They didn't launch until it must have been yesterday or the day before. I'm actually looking right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, they minted 12 hours ago.
So they just never.
I never knew what happened with them. I did a lot of like, I don't know what it was, like Discord games to get a whitelist spot for them. And I sat in that Discord for so long that I finally said, like, the project must be dead. The team must have abandoned it. They're not going to launch. And I had left the Discord and waited so long that I forgot they existed, to where when I saw them yesterday or earlier today, I said, wait, how are these a thing? Like, the team's gone.
Oh my god. So okay, this is interesting because are we now seeing all these projects that have been waiting now starting? Like, what was it free mint?
I'm actually looking. I thought it was a free mint.
Because
it was a free mint.
Okay. So there are projects that didn't mint, and there's probably a bunch waiting for not the free mint or the free mint meta to like end, but this one chose to go full free mint and ride the hype.
Yeah, I think they saw the rally and kind of the NFT wave come in again and just said, let's go for it.
But it's working. I mean, I think they're at like a 0.6 floor.
Yeah. I mean, also you have Webiverse. They did a Genesis pass. It's
Okay.
17,000 supply at 0.15, I think, and they sold all of them. And
They
the
minted
floor's
at 0.15. Oh, wait, this is Loom Dart's situation, right?
Ooh, is it Loom Dart?
I think so.
The floor's at 0.51 now.
It was like a auction where I think they minted at 0.3.
Oh, it was a meta drop auction. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
So yeah, I minted out at point. It was actually crazy where everyone like basically bid up the floor, and then at the very end of the timer, there was another 30 minutes, but it could stop any time during that 30 minutes, and then it got up to like 0.3.
Oh, the auction ended with a final price of 0.45. So it probably opened at 0.15. And they sold 17,000 of these things.
Interesting. So that could really spell a turnaround here. Now there's only 1,700 of them, but still, like, we haven't had a decent sized ETH mint in a minute sell out.
No. And MetaDrop is known to really pull in buyers. I haven't seen anything on MetaDrop. Granted, I don't follow everything on MetaDrop. I just see the big ones, which might be why I have this bias. But I've never seen anything on MetaDrop do poorly.
Wow. I mean, what is MetaDrop?
I think it's a Loom Dart. I don't know if he's behind it or just funds it, but it's the auction website. Did you do the Wassies mint?
Oh, I didn't. But okay, so he did the same thing on
Same
that
thing
website?
on MetaDrop. Yeah, I think
Got
Wassies
it.
were the first one.
So is he gonna like outsource that to other projects where they can drop on that website?
There's been other ones on there.
Oh,
Raid
wow.
Party was on there.
Oh shit. Okay. Got it. He just used this particular service.
Right.
Wow. Interesting.
And it's always been fun because, like you said, there's a 30-minute period where it can end at any time, and you never know when that is.
I love that.
It's gamified, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's a rising auction instead of a lowering auction. So Dutch goes down, MetaDrop goes up.
Right. No, I like that a lot because then people are like, okay, this is how much I need to bid to at least get one.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm a fan of that.
The Wassie one was a ton of fun, despite Wassie's not doing super well.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
they're still
awesome.
hanging around. He's. I mean, Loom Dart. It's tough, man. Like, there's this thing about like crypto Twitter versus NFT Twitter, and crypto Twitter just has not nailed the NFT scene.
No, and
You know?
they just continue to make kind of pump and dump stuff, not
Yeah,
on purpose, but just like it fades so quickly.
I think it was Moon Overlord, shout out homie, who said it, and it's like, dude, they don't have diamond hands like NFT Twitter does. Like, there are people in NFT Twitter who will literally hold shit and be like, I'm never selling, and mean it. And on crypto Twitter, it's literally PvP. Like, I'm not selling, and then immediately like they have sells posted ready to go.
Right.
So I don't know.
That's a good way to look at it.
If an NFT will ever seriously catch on, that's only crypto Twitter.
Pudgies are trying. I keep seeing Pudgy
Pudgies.
Penguins float that direction. They're not really on NFT Twitter so much as they're on crypto Twitter now.
Yeah, and I think that could be because a lot of heavy hitters loaded up, and like maybe that's going to be the one that they decide to pump. But we'll see. I mean, heavy hitters with a good following that's actually like loyal and like a community instead of just like numbers on the screen.
Right. I've seen them enough that I'm like, do I need to pick one of these up?
Yeah, and there's like memeability because the project like got taken over and now it's like a community thing and like that whole deal.
Right.
So
I have a hard time buying those though, because in our little tiny Discord we saw those at 0.02.
Yeah.
And somebody was buying them just saying like, I think these are the next big wave, and they prefaced it by saying, it's after midnight and I've drank an entire bottle of wine, so like I don't know what I'm doing. And it proceeded to be absolutely spot on.
Right, exactly. So,
I tend to fade those moves.
Right. No, I always fade those moves. Like you dropped those Binance NFTs today. How they ended up minting out, right?
Minted out, dude, like 20 minutes after I said they had just started. I got sidetracked for like 2.5 hours. But last I checked, they had pumped to 0.17. Nate Rivers was talking about them, so they're up like 70% off of that, I guess, Discord post I sent over.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they kind of faded back down. I'm actually looking for them now.
And this is, so you bought the NFT and you get 0% trading fees on their DEX, on Binance DEX,
right?
The centralized exchange.
So they're down to 0.09 now. I figured it was some like interminting pump while supply was coming through, initial hype, yada yada.
It wasn't something that, I mean, you put it out there and I was like immediate fade, and then, which means I should buy.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I feel good about these ones, if being honest. It's the first ETH NFT on Binance.
Interesting.
So that's like the only narrative that might run for them.
Yeah. I think I'm going to stay away from that.
I'm fading
Which literally next podcast, this is the exact same setup. Yeah, they're down to 0.09. Fucking next podcast, yeah, they're at fucking 5 ETH.
If that happens, I'm going to buy everything the next week. Yeah, exactly. Anything I come across that I'm like, this could hit, I'm buying it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's just how it works though. NFTs, like someone put a tweet out today that was spot on where, a normal person has a hard time 100xing a coin because there's so much that goes into it. But they can 100x an NFT a lot easier. And
absolutely.
I think that's kind of like what we're seeing happen is retail's coming in, getting burned on coins. They might see NFTs as these easy pumpable things and just buying and holding on. And like you said, Moon Overlord, CT loves to PvP, whereas NFT loves to collect.
Yeah. I mean, hitting 100x's seems to be like a theme in NFT world, where the Pepes wasn't even like surprising for a lot of people, which is insane. If a coin pumped 100x in literally
a week.
What, a week? Yeah, people would be losing their minds.
Oh, absolutely. I would be losing my mind whether I was in or out.
Yeah, and I'm not talking like $100 market cap to fucking whatever, or like $1 market cap to 100. You know what I mean? I'm talking like a move that involves a good amount of people, that a Spaces is being run. Like with a lot of people in it. Like that would be very, very, very much talked about.
Oh yeah, and when you think about it, like you've got that rare Ape Pepe space you said had 1,000 people in it.
Right.
If you have half of those people buy two, that's 1,000 that are selling.
Right.
If you have 10% of those people buy two, that's still 200. And every buy wall I've ever seen on like a moving collection is in like the 20s. Like you've got a 20 quantity until the next leg.
Right. I mean so during that Spaces is when they really pumped and they went to 1.1. The second the Spaces ended, and this is kind of like a trend, the second the Spaces ended and technically like the quote unquote hype died down, because there's not like somewhere everyone's like being like, the future's so bright, they immediately nuked to like 0.65.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So like you have to keep that hype high in these new projects, and it's so tough to do 24/7.
Oh my God, yeah. You have to have the timeline helping you.
Right. And then when I hop in there and hear like, we all have to follow each other and like each other's tweets and retweet, and it's like, okay, I don't know about this.
The
I
thing
get
is,
it. I get it, but I don't know about it.
when you have that many people in a spaces, you permeate probably everyone's timeline.
Right.
Because
right.
spaces aren't happening as often as they used to,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not as big as they used to be. So when you have one that's 1,000 people, you're probably on everyone's spaces like bar at the top there. I saw it on my app, and I was like, well, closing that.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. I mean, that is a ton of people, especially right now. Like Twitter's still arguably kind of dead.
Yeah, it really is. It's not
coming
as
back
fun,
though.
but it is coming back.
It's coming back. The second. I mean, I've always said marketing is the best tool, and price is the best marketing tool.
Oh my God, yeah. No
right?
one wants.
So everyone comes back when they see number go up. They want like, oh, I didn't want it at 0.1 ETH when you were talking about 8 Pepes, and then at 1, I'm considering buying it. Like that's the clearest thing. I'm obviously an idiot, but like that's just
That's the Veblen good we talked about.
You know, the more expensive it gets, like, oh yeah, I do need that, huh?
That's how it works.
Right. And
every time something is expensive on OpenSea, I'm like, what is this collection?
Yeah, and
why is this so expensive?
Right. And I don't think the tourists are totally back, like all of retail, but the people who did stick around a little bit and the people who check in every now and then are definitely starting to come back on the scene somewhat. Not at any means of like where we were at the height when it was like, you know, everyone asking you what's going on in the space. And I don't think we're anywhere near that. But if the price keeps pumping, you can expect those same people, those tourists, quote unquote, to roll back in.
Dude, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know?
And it'll be easy to see, too, because I think it'll be all over Twitter, honestly. Like, you can kind of see the plateauing of people and their growth. There's only so many followers that you can amass in our ecosystem. So when you see someone like Pranksy blow up again and like get 100,000 more followers, you kind of know they're flowing back in because they're going to follow those big accounts first.
It's kind of alpha to have a little bit of a following because you can totally see the influx of users based on daily followers number going up.
Yeah, you actually
like
can.
Big accounts there we're losing followers. You know, like medium accounts were like staying stagnant. Now it's starting to tick back up a little bit, but like when it's really frothy at the top, people are gaining like 5 to 10K like in not like a day, but a week for sure.
Frothy.
Yeah.
Frothy at the top.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about moonbirds next.
Oh boy.
Did you follow this controversy?
Does it do with Nate Rivers?
I don't think so.
Where he was like literally like shading them and then bought the bottom, but now they're still going down or something?
No, okay, I didn't know about that at all. No, I just meant the CCO thing where they...
Oh, yeah.
The announcement they were moving to CCO, so if someone bought them expecting IP rights, they no longer have them.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? I've got an interesting take, but I want your more level-headed take to go first.
Okay. I'm probably just regurgitating some Twitter takes here, but I think the main thing was like people thought they were getting one thing and there was no communication, and then they dropped CCO out of nowhere. But then okay, so that's one thing. But then there's another side of like, were you ever really going to sign a deal with your Moonbird or whatever? And it's like, I see both angles, but I kind of lean towards the first one more. It doesn't really matter if I was ever really going to do something with my Moonbirds. You never know. But the fact that I had no warning and I'm buying something thinking I have the IP rights to it and then I don't is an interesting position to put the buyer in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I really side with you on that. Were you actually going to use it? I don't think most people ever will.
No.
But a big news item like that, that no one expects to happen, really hits someone's investment hard.
It's one thing to go from CCO the other way to where you own the IP rights, but to rug them, and that's what it feels like. It feels like a rugging when you go from from IP rights. You own them. You can do whatever you want with it. You own your actual Moonbird. You can make shirts. You can build a brand around it. To, oh, it's free for all. Anyone can like use any Moonbird for anything.
I wonder, and I didn't follow it too closely because I personally thought it was stupid.
Yep.
I wonder what the purpose of it was. Like, what is Kevin Rose's kind of magnum opus here with going CCO?
I have no clue. I've kind of never. How do I say this? I've thought the whole thing was a grift. Like, I literally thought from Mint to the fucking Ryan Carson leaving 2 weeks after they got 70 million, to him starting a fund and then buying Moonbirds again. Like, the whole thing just reeked of like this insider round up a bunch of ETH and like, oh, we're gonna build something sick. I know they have a following and they've done stuff in the past, and like they have, like, there's a reason that people aped into this with the idea that they're gonna build something good. But I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought too.
So yeah, I'm kind of biased against them, kind of in a sense.
I'm in the same boat, honestly. I think they're super cool, to be honest. I sold mine, and I was like, damn, I actually wish I had. I was trying to buy, I sold mine real early, and I was trying to buy a skeleton, like one of the top 50 ones, and they just kept flying off of NFT Nerds. I couldn't get it, so I just faded it. But the whole time through that fading process, I was like, damn, these things are really cool. But same boat. I just never trusted it. There's too many breadcrumbs that made me feel bad about them.
Yeah, and it's like when someone bursts into the scene like that, that's not really been a part of the scene like that, it's just hard to not think it's like motivated in a negative light a little bit. And they can have the best reputation outside, but you know, I kind of just would rather give 70 million to someone who's like proven themselves in the scene and they get it. And I'm like, yeah, like you're going to do great things with that. And I'm even still 70 million is a ton of cash for starting a freaking anything, really.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You know,
I think our opinion, regardless, the biggest question is like, what do you do with it now? If you have one, you're down 4 ETH, maybe 5 ETH in the last week.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do now?
I mean, if you're in NFT world and you're stuck in NFTs right now, and you're holding some big ones, like in my head, you have to hold on no matter how hard it gets and wait for the liquidity to rush back into the market, because otherwise you're dumping into like, think of it like this. You're dumping into like thin order books where there's no bid and everyone's just going to be undercutting themselves, and you're just going to get waxed because maybe you see ETH pumping in the coin market and you want to go chase that. Now, if you would have done that early, you always have to panic early. If you're going to panic early, I guess is my point. That's
a good point.
So I don't know about getting out now, even with the CCO shit, because these things will pump again. We all know that. But like, am I buying? No. Am I selling if I'm a big holder? Well, I would never be a big holder. So later.
All right. Fair. Very fair.
But no, I mean, you know, if you are a big holder, like, I guess my thing is like, you made that investment. Hopefully you did your own research and hopefully you had a thesis going on. So like, stick to your guns and wait it out. And if you want to jump into coin world, you should have done that earlier.
Yeah. If you didn't de-risk by now, it's probably too late. Like you're already bleeding out. Like, don't end it yet.
I mean, just look at Machi, the Bored Ape homie.
Oh, yeah, he dumped a ton of mutants today.
Dumped 47 mutants, dumped all his ape coin because he didn't get a retweet on his NFT marketplace. And so, I mean, and the Bored Ape, like, mutant floor just, like, totally soaked up all the sales. So
they were, like, ready for it.
Right. Like, you could argue, and then that they had that Trippy mutant, or the Mega Mutant Trippy sell for 2,300 ETH, almost $4 million.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Like that, to me, those type of events kind of can spark a little fire.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
2,300 ETH for a Mega Mutant. Absurd. I'm not paying that.
Okay, what would you rather have? I saw a poll. Gold Ape?
I voted on the poll. I voted on this poll, and I said Gold Ape.
Okay. Okay.
because I saw how hard it was for this guy to sell that. He
Yeah.
was shilling it at every big event to every big player.
Yeah. And he has another one.
He does. The other one's arguably cooler too.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What's your bid there? You going gold or mega trippy
Okay.
or mega mutant?
The golds always seem to have a bid. So you have a floor to dump into. But there is, I've noticed, bids on the Mega Mutants floor right now is 1,700 ETH. And I'm pretty sure the gold ape floor is like around 900. Mega Mutant is like one of a kind artwork. So although it may take me longer, I think in the long run, I could probably get more. And the second liquidity comes back into NFT land, you could see some like ridiculous Mega Mutant sales. Like, I don't know if we'll ever get back to what we did. Some of those people were spending ridiculous amounts on these, but I mean, I think there's maybe more upside with something like a Mega Mutant just because of the name and like, you know, you're a one of one in a 20K supply collection.
That's a very good point. I didn't realize there was a 1,700 offer floor on Mega Mutants.
Yeah, because someone was trying to snipe another one from someone who has 4.
Holy shit.
Yeah, someone has 4 and they just put out a bid. And that's $2.5 million we're talking here on an NFT.
That's a pretty big conviction play.
Yeah, but these type of sales can really spark something. And like what we're talking about here, a couple projects kind of pop off. The timeline's kind of getting excited. I think the whole NFT market is like waiting for something. You know, I think the bigger players marched back over to coins and they're trading that market and it's pretty hot right now. So if it stays hot, you might be put on hold for a little longer, but that might happen through merge.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't see it cooling off, but
I see merge bringing back in a bunch of retail and straight to NFTs.
Yeah, I mean that next NFT wave. Oh my God, I want to catch some early mints and like I want to catch some flips. I feel like I know how to play it this time around. I'm not going to be Senator Moonboy and like just holding shit to like think I'm going to catch the next like Bored Ape.
Yeah, you got to trade them. And
yeah, you have to be active.
The biggest winners in the last cycle were people that max minted all kinds of hype shit.
Right. And like almost max minted everything.
Yeah. I got a buddy he tried to upload his wallet for taxes, and the tax software asked if he was trying to upload a smart contract because he had too many transactions.
Oh my God.
He had like a 7-figure tax bill.
Okay.
Which means he did great, but
yeah,
also
great.
I think his taxes alone drove him insane, man.
Yeah. Wow. So, okay, but still, so the NFT market could be heating back up, but I know a spot that's definitely in fuego right now. And this was actually dropped in the last alpha segment as well. Arbitrum layer 2 on Ethereum. I literally have to fucking catch my breath. That's how on fire it is.
Because you're just running with the bulls over there, man. Every day is another 50%.
I'm trying to be the Arbitrum god. It's been insane. If you bought GMX and DPX, like I mentioned last podcast, you're up. If you bought it when I mentioned it to K Money, then you're definitely up. Which, by the way, I'm going to keep DMing him updates on coin prices. Because I don't think he aped any of. I sent him, so after the podcast, he sent me a DM being like, yo, send me those plays again. And so I sent him every play, a breakdown, and how to like get in there and where to stake his coins and like fully being like, oh yeah, here you go. Like literally Hitchhiker's Guide to Arbitrum. And I don't think he aped anything because I think he just like left me on red with the update. I was like, yo, by the way, everything is like more than 2x since I told you.
I looked at it and was like, nah, it won't go any higher.
Yeah.
Faded.
Exactly. Oh my God. So I guess maybe I scared him off with being like, well, this isn't like a meme coin where it's just going to 20x overnight. And like, here we are.
Here we are 20xing overnight, it looks like.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I mean, there's room to run. Everyone's asking, what are the plays? I've already said the plays. I'm not going to repeat them. But still, like, be there for the airdrop, because what happened with Optimism, which is the other layer 2, which is what is going to start the bull run even harder, is that they give these grants to every single team that's on Arbitrum, and then those teams use the amount of coins that they're granted of like Arbitrum native coin and just airdrop that, or like have users that use their platform are given that. So it makes the yields go up like, 2-3x. So people are just like farming at juiced yields, and they're buying the native coins to farm. So everything just goes ballistic.
Okay, so I'll ask a few questions here. I'll prime you for some good answers. Okay. Is it too late to get into Arbitrum?
No. Oh. It might be too early.
Too early? Are you saying too early on the timeline of like we've got 2 years to the next halving, 600 some days?
I'm saying you're in the camp of everyone knows like, oh, you're early or whatever. Like you're lucky. Like that type of thing. Oh, you just got in early. Like right. You are in that camp still if you're getting in now.
Okay. And I'm a big believer in that crypto will go lower before we see the next halving bull cycle.
Okay.
Obviously depending on the ETH merge stuff we talked about, there might be some cycles in there, but I think we do go lower than we are today at some point in the next 2 years.
Yep.
Do you think it's better to wait to get into Arbitrum for that period, or would you jump in now?
So I'd get in now, and I tell you why. Because you bridge your assets over to layer 2, so you go from Ethereum mainnet over to Arbitrum. There's several bridges you can use to do this, but it qualifies you for the airdrop of the Arbitrum coin. Now, people who use the network more should maybe get more of the airdrop. We don't know. We don't know how they're going to like disperse those coins yet, but get in now so you're eligible for that. It's free money. Get in now because again, when they airdrop that coin, it's going to be mayhem of like every protocol, like I said, that's on Arbitrum right now is going to be given a basket of coins. Like there's projects on Optimism that are given 5 to 10 million coins. And, not only in yield farming are you earning the coin that you're like staking, but then you're going to be earning Arbitrum coin on top of that. So it's just going to juice everything. So I'd say get in now so you're eligible. And then if you think about it like this, Ethereum, this is the crazy part, is that Ethereum has been like in a mini upcycle. Obviously, it was sub 1,000. We're almost at 2,000. Arbitrum has been going nuts during that time. In its own like insane bull cycle, and everything is still tiny. I think there's a total of like 100 protocols on Arbitrum, and like 10 are maybe like something you want to own. So it is by all means tiny, and I think it has basically. I think it could 100x in TVL. So it's at like want to say 2 billion. Don't roast me if I get that wrong. I could see it long run being around 200 billion in TVL. Obviously, that's long term.
What's long term to you? We talking 3 years, 2 years, 10?
Yeah, like 4 years. But I mean, short term, it could easily get to 10, 20 bill TVL. I mean, I think there's like 50 bill TVL on Ethereum mainnet. So let's not get crazy, but 10, 20 bill if the bull is booming and they have this like juiced up Arbitrum coin, you could definitely see it balloon at least to 5 for sure, to 5 when Arbitrum coin drops.
Okay, so I love getting deep into some random side chains.
Yeah.
When I did it with Phantom, I got into Phantom, I got into Spooky Swap, and I used that as my DEX for everything until I kind of branched out more. What would your Sherpa path be if you were coming to Arbitrum? Where would you go first to do all your stuff? You go into Uniswap or where?
So think of it like this. So with Phantom, you were like, okay, yeah, Phantom's like my base pair. Imagine if your base pair is just ETH for now, and the base pair hasn't dropped yet. So everything you're farming with ETH, is being eligible for more Phantom in that case.
Got
So,
it.
and then you take that Phantom and maybe they become like farming with pairs with the Phantom coin, like it was when you were playing that. But, so if I was going over there, would definitely use GMX, which is like a product where you can like long and short coins. I think we already talked about that.
We did.
DopeX, you know, options protocol. Then there's like, I think Aave is over there, Curves over there. So like all your big protocols are over there. It's just like you're using ETH mainnet, honestly. But, you know, Uniswap's over there. So I'd say just get in there, buy some coins, stake some coins. I mean, shit, if you're an airdrop farmer, maybe do it on like 10 wallets. So you're eligible for the airdrop on 10 wallets. Now, don't come back to me when they're like monitoring that and like weeding out like, okay, it has to be such and such amount. But still, like you have plenty of time to prepare for this because I think they're going to do it in like October. Now, I have no clue. But if I had to guess, I'd say October. So
why then? Random day?
So they have this thing called the Arbitrum Odyssey, which is basically like an 8 to 16 week event where you have to complete all these tasks on different Arbitrum protocols. Like, for example, make a trade on GMX, make a swap on Uniswap, right? And if you complete each thing, you get an NFT for each completion. If you collect 13 of like the 16 week NFTs, maybe it's even 12, but something like that. If you collect that amount, they'll give you like the Grandmaster fucking NFT or whatever, like that shows you completed the Odyssey. Yeah. I think that could have you even more eligible for the airdrop. So a lot of OGs, Arbitrum OGs are like kind of pissed, being like, dude, I've been on this network forever. I better get a fat airdrop. I don't even want to do the Odyssey. It's like, for sure, do it. Come on. Like you're on Discord and Twitter every day. Like the least you can do is make a couple trades here and there. But, and I still think it's going to be like, usage based. Like they're going to do a mix of both.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So like long story short, get in the network, play around, probably make yourself eligible for an airdrop at the minimum. You know, it's $500, right? Like just get over there, see what's up. Or more if you're trying to risk it.
It sounds like a done deal, man. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, Ethereum is sucking in every dollar right now because of the merge. Everyone wants to hold Ethereum. Arbitrum is a side chain to Ethereum. So the narrative of like scaling and side chains in Ethereum is just going to blow up. And so it's like all that money from merge is going to trickle into layer twos in my head. So you're basically front running the next narrative. Like we haven't even gotten to the narrative of the merge, but you're front running a front running.
Amazing. My favorite thing to do is front run. That's how I buy so many NFTs.
Oh, dude. And last thing is like, I'll be posting about this stuff, and obviously I'm clearly bullish as fuck, like as it gets. And just the reply guys on those tweets, you can just tell it's probably going to 100x because of how like blatantly clueless they are about the whole scene.
So, the whole scene being the Arbitrum scene?
Yeah. And fading it and being like, no way, like Arbitrum, like, why would you do that? Or just like dropping their own coin, or being like, oh, when I see a tweet like this, it's the top. And then it goes up another 50x the next day, or 50% the next day. So, you know, just shit like that where it's like, okay, come on, man. Like trying to help spread the good word, but instead every single comment is like negative. If every single comment was to the moon, 100x, you know, oh my God, I'm going to be rich. That's when you run. When every single comment is the opposite, oh, you're an idiot type shit. Like, okay, yeah, I'm max bidding.
The funny thing with you is you have told me about so many of these coins, so many of these moments. And I've always been like, ooh, maybe. Like, this might not be the one. And every single time, it's been the one. Even down to some, like, death pool, like, Nyan cat thing.
Oh, my God, yeah. Early Arbitrum. That's a throwback.
Yeah, and you were like, oh, I'm in a death pool. You don't want to be in this. And, like, 2 days later, you're like, somehow at 10x.
Yeah, dude. Oh, my God. Some of those plays were so ridiculous.
Absolutely. I'm going to put this out there just because I'm watching it happen. I've watched something called Biplane Bobo for the last, 30 minutes. And it's done like a...
Biplane Bobo.
Biplane Bobo.
Okay.
In the last 30 minutes, I've watched it 5x from a 0.01 to 0.06 now floor.
Whoa. 0.01 to 0.06.
In the last 30 minutes. Distribution for holders about 50%. Apparently it's some comic that has some DC and Marvel artist involved with it.
Interesting.
I put it out there just in case.
Yeah,
this is the alpha segment.
This is the alpha segment. So that is definitely the spot to drop it. Bye-bye, Bobo.
Yeah, bye-bye, Bobo. Already, it's pushing an all-time high.
Okay.
It minted out earlier today, and it's now cruising for it. Like, the chart is actually hilarious. You could imagine it. It's just up.
Oh, yeah, up only. I mean, a quick 6x, it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I usually do here. I'm going to wait for it to cloud at a price, watch it drop, and be like, all right, I'll buy when it clouds to the bottom. Inadvertently miss that. And I will FOMO purchase the top later.
Perfect.
That is higher than right now. Absolutely.
I can't wait to hear that on. We should do another one, like another podcast like this weekend or something.
Absolutely. We'll get them running. We'll increase the cadence and just pump out content.
Yeah. No, the people deserve to hear more.
Based on the calls that have happened in this so far.
Dude, let alone it's literally like a free podcast. I mean, shit, you're paying for your membership alone, but then you get this alpha on top of it. Like, see ya.
Yeah, Jesus,
who knows if we'll have another guest? I mean, we probably will, but lately we've been hitting up some people and they've kind of been like, ducking.
Oh, I can pull more guests on anytime.
Oh, I know you can.
I know who you're talking about too, and he won't hear it.
I know he does not listen to this, which is fucking hilarious.
No, we'll get him on here someday though.
But okay, well, another fucking high quality episode in the books. Like I said, we'll have to get one out again. I know we say this a lot, but probably every episode. But appreciate everyone who listens. This is obviously just something we do for fun, but it's cool to share thoughts on the market. And as things heat up, would love to, help more people out if possible.
Dude, absolutely. The goal is to just kind of grow and learn and have fun. Yeah,
exactly. It's a fun space. There's no reason to take it yourself too seriously. It's all about just growing and learning. And that's what we're here for.
See you next time.
Peace.